In today's video, I'll be going over my 2021-2022 Premier League season predictions. I will go over the positions of how the teams will go. Then I will go over my top goal scorer, top assister, most clean sheets, and PFA Player of the Year predictions as well. Brentford will finish in last place in the Premier League. Brentford, for me, has the least talented side in the Premier League, making them obvious favorites to go straight back down to the Championship. I just believe that their team is filled with Championship-level players that will struggle to adapt to the Premier League. I like some of their players, but I do not think they were ready to make this jump this soon. I like the moves they have made so far, getting Ajer and Onyeka. However, I do not think they'll be enough to save them from relegation. I believe Watford will finish in 19th for many of the same reasons as Brentford. I do not think their team has the quality needed to stay up in the Premier League. They have some top players in Ismaila Sarr, Will Hughes, and Joshua King. However, that will not be enough to stay in the Premier League this season. They will need to make some bigger moves in the transfer window to have a chance at staying up. I think Crystal Palace will finish 18th place this next Premier League season and be the final team relegated from the Premier League. I think they have the talent available to stay in the Premier League. However, their many losses, I think, will impact their ability to stay up. Joachim Andersen, Conor Gallagher, and Michael Olise are excellent signings. However, they still do not have enough quality to stay in the Premier League. Norwich, I believe, will finish in 17th place. I think they will narrowly avoid relegation to Crystal Palace, as I think their coaching and past Premier League experience will lift them over the edge. I do not think their team is that great, but they have made some good additions in Milo Rashica, Billy Gilmore, Josh Sargent, and Ben Gibson. I think they will struggle again in the league, but they will narrowly stay in this time. Southampton will finish in 16th in the league next season. Right now, their squad has continued to get worse, especially after losing their top talisman in Danny Ings. I think they'll have another struggle season, although that could change if they get a good replacement for Danny Ings. I think Ralph Hasenhuttl has the talent to keep this team up, and I see that being a possibility, but they'll have another struggle of a campaign. Newcastle will finish 15th in the league this next season. They will again struggle this next season, as they have not made any real improvements, although Joe Willock will most likely join. However, Joe Willock cannot keep up his production from last season, and Newcastle will likely barely avoid relegation once again, due to poor management and poor form. Brighton will finish 14th in the league this next season. They have been consistently staying up in the Premier League, and will continue this trend. They have good enough management in Graham Potter, as he has consistently kept this team in the top flight. They lost a key piece in Ben White, but they made an excellent addition in Enoch Mwempu. I think their quality of players will keep them up comfortably this coming up season. Burnley will finish 13th in the league this next season. Sean Dyche has continued to make mediocre Burnley sides and consistently keeping them from even worrying about relegation most seasons, and I think that will continue. They have a quality side, with many quality players that are good enough to play at this level, and they also added a solid defender in Nathan Collins. I think an average season for Burnley is coming up for them. I think Everton will finish 12th in the league this coming season. Right now their side is average at best, and they could possibly lose James Rodriguez as he's continued to voice his frustration with Ancelotti's departure. They need to make some transfer moves to have a chance to get a European qualification spot, and I do not think this will happen. Also, I do not believe Rafa Benitez will improve this team with his managerial style. Therefore, the bottom half makes sense. Wolves, I believe, will finish 11th in the league this coming season. I think they will bounce back from their abysmal season last year. However, I still think they will finish bottom half of the table. They have a very talented squad, filled with quality throughout, especially with Raul Jimenez coming back. But I think they will struggle at the beginning of the season under their new manager Bruno Lage. I think they'll have a solid finish to the season compared to last year. I think West Ham will finish 10th in the Premier League. They had an excellent season last year, finishing 6th and getting Europa League football, and I think that is the reason why they'll drop off this season. Too many competitions to play in cause many clubs to drop off significantly, and we have seen it multiple times, and West Ham will struggle because of it. They still have a very good squad and made a great signing in Areola, but not enough depth will hurt them in the Europa League and Premier League. I think Leeds will finish 9th in the Premier League this next season. I think they'll avoid the typical second-year slump and continue with their success due to their talent and manager. They've also made a good addition in Junior Firpo from Barcelona to their already extremely talented side. I believe a top-half finish once again is in order for Bielsa and Leeds this coming season. I think Aston Villa will finish 8th in the Premier League this coming season. They may have lost their best player in Jack Grealish, however they have come back and replaced his production in 3 big signings of Danny Ings, Emi Buendia, and Leon Bailey. They have also added Axel Tuanzebe, who is another solid defender for them. I think they will improve on last season and have a top-half finish. Arsenal will finish 7th in the Premier League, getting them Europa Conference League football this season after. I think Arsenal with their squad will continue to have a struggle season. However, with no European football to worry about, they will have a better season. They made great additions in Ben White to their defense. However, they still have some holes they need to fix before the end of the window to get higher than 7th. Tottenham will finish 6th in the Premier League this next season, getting them Europa League football. Spurs have gotten themselves a new manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, who has brought Wolves to 7th at their best point, and definitely knows what he's doing. They also made some good moves to an already solid squad in Golini, Christian Romero, and Brian Gill. The main reason they are this high is because they have kept Harry Kane on their roster so far, and if they continue to hold on to him, a 6th place finish makes sense. I think Leicester will finish 5th place for the 3rd straight year, once again getting Europa League football. Leicester have continued to maintain their very strong squad, and have continued to add by purchasing Patson Daka and Boubakary Samare, who are great signings. Leicester have great management and great players that will allow them to continue to overachieve in this league. I think Liverpool will finish in 4th place in the Premier League this next season. Now, I think the top 4 will be extremely close this season, as the Premier League has 4 teams with a real shot to win the league. Liverpool, unfortunately, at the moment, have had the worst transfer window out of the 3 teams above them, and I think that could leave them finishing in 4th. They have brought in Ibrahima Konate, who is an excellent signing for his price, but they need to add another player or 2 to have a really good shot to win the league. Manchester United will finish 3rd this next Premier League campaign. United have made 2 solid signings in Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane. However, I do not think that will put them over the top. If they get a defensive midfielder to play next to Pogba, they could really have a good shot to win the league. But for now, 3rd place makes sense for them. I think Manchester City will finish 2nd in the Premier League this next season. City have the most talented squad in the league and one of the best managers. They've also made a good move bringing in Jack Grealish. However, if they do not address the glaring hole at striker for them, I do not see them winning the league, so 2nd place is where I have them finishing. Chelsea will win the Premier League in the 2021-2022 season. Ever since Tuchel came in as manager, they have continued to be a dominant side in the league, and outside of it as well. They have also filled their biggest need, signing Romelu Lukaku to be their striker. They are also in talks to get Jules Koundé as well, who would improve their already stellar defense. Their team is insanely good, and the management is amazing as well. They will win the Premier League. For top goal scorer of the league, I've chosen Mohamed Salah. For top assister, I think Kevin De Bruyne will lead the league in assist. For most clean sheets, I think Edouard Mendy will achieve this, as Chelsea's defense will be immense and he will make some crucial saves. For PFA Player of the Year, I think N'Golo Kante will win it, as Chelsea will win the league and he will be the most important piece of their team.